So you've decided to buy some silver or gold, but what should you buy? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it a bit of both? Should you buy physical or vaulted? And how does that all lead into your budget setting? Those are the main topics of part 2 of my complete guide to investing and stacking gold and silver. Everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for part 2 of my complete guide to investing and stacking gold and silver. A big thank you to everybody who's checked out part 1 already. If you haven't, there's a link down in the description below. And a big thank you to all the feedback as well on the potential for this series. I'm really looking forward to creating lots of really interesting videos about stacking and investing in gold and silver from my perspective as just a content creator here on YouTube. So thank you for all that feedback. It's important to remember as well, put my little disclaimer in here, that I'm not a financial advisor or investment guru. I'm just sharing some of my experiences, tips, hints and tricks as a stacker and investor, so please bear that in mind. Now, last time we did the whys of investing gold and silver, why you might even want to get involved in it in the first place, but today I want to focus on the whats. Now, the whats is actually a much bigger video topic than just what I'm going to talk about today, and there'll probably be a part 2 of a part 2 next week, but I want to focus on gold versus silver or both. Should you have a little bit of both? Should you have one or the other? What's better? What's better for different people? Physical versus vaulted bullion, that's another big hot topic, which I'm going to try and do a little bit of justice for in today's video. And all of those things, those two big core components, should lead into a little bit of the budget setting, which is going to be a video in its own right, but I want to touch on it briefly in today's video because a lot of the different questions that you might want to think about will lead into that. So first up in that trio of topics then is gold versus silver. What should you be getting? Well, that's an interesting way I phrased it there. What should you be getting is a really difficult one to sort of say. It's going to differ from every single person. Geography is going to make a difference too. A lot of the premiums on silver right now are high, even more so if you're based in the United Kingdom or the European Union, because there are taxes on silver, on the sale of silver if you're buying from a bullion dealer, and that certainly does have a pretty big impact. But even outside of the UK and the EU, in the US now we are seeing higher premiums on things like eagles, things just 4 years ago would have been a couple of cents over spot price. You know, even bigger bars like this, the whole sort of hype and demand for silver right now has definitely fueled this premium growth. However, with gold, there is very much not this kind of premium level on top of it as silver. So even in the US, you can get gold tending to be cheaper than silver in terms of premiums. But of course, the problem with gold is it's quite expensive. And unless you're buying really kind of larger coins like 1 ounce gold coins, for example, which, let's be quite frank, is a large chunk of change to just throw out on a piece of metal, you're not going to be getting it at any kind of low premium. So gold versus silver is a really interesting topic, and I'd say if you're in the UK, it's very much worth looking at gold over silver. A lot of people might disagree with me and think that silver's got much more potential for the future as an industrial metal, as a commodity, as something that's undervalued in our society. And I don't disagree with all of that, but it does boil down to a little bit of safety and security. I think what the most important thing for and this will be another video topic in its own right, there's going to be so many of these in this series, I'm looking forward to it, is exit strategy. So liquidating silver is often going to be a little bit more risky, a little bit more volatile. You might end up not reclaiming some of the premiums that you had to pay from dealers unless you go on a kind of, secondhand market selling adventure through eBay or through social media. If you tend to go just back to a dealer, your premium silver that you've bought will often be given very, very low prices, and it can catch a lot of people out. Gold, however, because you're paying a really low premium right at the start, right at the outset, you'll find that swing is a lot less painful, so it gives you a little bit more kind of liquidity protection. So that's one kind of factor. A lot of people think gold is unobtainable. They call it unobtainium because it's so expensive. There are fractional options for gold as well. So even if you are on a smaller budget, again, this is going to link into the budget at the end of this video, you can stack gold. It is possible to do so. It's just, again, about the premium side of things. So we'll talk a little bit more about budgets, how that all links together in a moment, but I just want to talk about physical versus vaulted silver. Now that's a term, vaulted silver is a term basically by which you would buy from either a dealer or from a there are plenty of them out there. I'm not going to name particular companies because they're not sponsoring today's video, but plenty of different companies out there offer a vaulted solution for silver whereby you basically buy it digitally. You have like a portfolio and you buy it, and there are lots of these companies which will say just these magical things like you have your own private vault in Switzerland and it will have all of your gold and silver allocated to it and it'll be yours and you can inspect it, except that you can't because you can't. And, there's all of these wonderful things said. Now, I'm not making any accusations, but yeah, I have limited kind of faith in the sort of validity of a great deal of these, aspersions that these vaulted companies often make. I think that they're genuine. There's 90%, 99% of them are, but the odd one probably won't be or might not be. So vaulted silver is not really for me. Physical is what it's all about. But I will agree that vaulted silver is a good idea if you have thoughts about storage, about security, about insurance, which again is going to be another video in its own right. But also, linking back to gold versus silver question, about premiums, because if you don't take delivery of your silver in the UK, then you don't have to pay the VAT, the sales taxes on it. So you can get silver at a very low price, a low premium over spot price, which is a great way, a much better way, in fact, of speculating on the price of silver over a shorter period of time. And it is possible to buy, kilos upon kilos of the stuff, watch the spot price ticker. If it goes up and you've got a positive net return on your investment after fees and storage and everything, then you can sell it and you can make a profit pretty quickly, pretty easily. But my argument to you there is, I think it's going to depend on why you're looking to get into silver in the first place. If you are expecting this stuff to just make you a little bit of money in the short term, then perhaps vaulted stuff is better for you. But if you think, as do a lot of other people, and myself included, that over a longer period of time, our currencies will start to struggle more, and we'll have this situation where perhaps we need to have some real stuff in our pockets that is real, that you can have in an emergency, then perhaps silver and gold is the better option. In terms of whether or not you should have physical or vaulted, it's going to be down to each individual circumstance. I think that certainly security and storage is I would say security and storage is much more of an important reason for using a vaulted service than just simply because you want to make a quick profit on things. I do think that is the most benefit that these kind of companies can give. But personally, I'm of the mind that if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And that is one of the big things that I kind of got a bit scared of during the start of the pandemic when we had lockdowns. I had a Krugerrand that I just placed an order for through a big bullion company here in the United Kingdom. And they went into lockdown. They just completely closed their doors, closed their shop. Nobody was working. Nobody was able to get in. Now, I had emails from them saying, don't worry, your Krugerrand is now in our vault. It's in your private stash in the vault, and we'll hold it for you with no storage charges, and we'll ship it to you when you want it, when you can. And I said, well, I kind of want it now, please, because what if I need it? What if I needed to go and sell it because of the lockdowns and all of the, brown stuff hitting the fan? And they just simply said, no, we can't, because we can't get into our offices. So it was kind of, you're stuck. I couldn't sell it even back to them because they closed their buying operations down too. So it was this really interesting situation by which I was like, well, I've got this money now that I've locked into this gold product, which I can't sell, which I can't hold, which I can't actually have. And that kind of got me a little bit worried about vaulted stuff. So it's each to their own. There is definitely merits for vaulted versus physical. But in my opinion, I think it's always, if you don't hold it, if you can't physically see it, hold it, know that it's real, take it down to your shops or wherever you need to in an emergency, then in my opinion, why go into gold and silver if that's not what you want? So the whole point of gold and silver, in my opinion, is that it is real. It's something that's physical. So all of that leads into the budget setting, and I will do an entire video on sort of budget setting, and kind of exit strategies will be a part of that video too. But I do want to link it through to this because a lot of the questions that I've asked here, gold versus silver, physical versus vaulted, link into the budget, because if you're on a very high budget, then vaulted silver probably is the right course of action to consider, because if you've got literally hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds to spend on your gold and silver, storage, security is going to be a factor. Silver is very heavy. Silver is actually quite dense for its monetary value. All you've got to do is look at this particular kilo bar of silver. This is 32.15 ounces of silver. And if you have, I think the ratio is something like 80 to 1 right now for gold to silver. So if you had Gosh, I haven't even got all of them out here. Can't do the maths, but the point is that the equivalent value of this is roughly the same as this double sovereign. So you can see straight away that you've got 1 kilo's worth of weight and bulk and size and mass, and this is just one tiny coin. Yes, it's in a blister pack, but you know, the size difference, the storage difference is quite significant. Now, the other budgetary concern there is if you are on a smaller budget, then perhaps silver might be the better option for you, and especially perhaps physical silver, because with vaulting fees and transaction fees, smaller amounts of silver often don't really make a great deal of sense. So silver perhaps then presents this opportunity. You know, if you've only got a budget of $25 a week, let's say, or $25 a month, you can put 1 silver coin away every month. That's a great start, and that's actually what a lot of people do. They get started with small amounts that they can afford, that they can manage, that they don't feel that they're going to over leverage themselves, and as they start to save more and earn more, then they can save more in silver. So that's certainly a factor to have in. But there are options out there, I should say, for gold if you are on a smaller budget too. Again, it comes back down to the premiums that you're willing to pay. You can buy products like this, which is a set of 10 1-gram bars for gold. You can actually get them in just singles as well. So there are plenty of different ways of stacking gold, and you'll be surprised if you are saving over time quite how much you can put away, even if it is just in 1-gram gold bars. It does add up quickly. So I hope that gives a good overview of the whats. There are plenty of other whats still to cover, and I've said probably going to do a part 2 of part 2 next time, which will be more on the types of silver. So we've got coins versus bars, bullion versus proof, even old constitutional silver, purity. You know, should you go for 999 silver, or should you go for 22 karat gold? Or, you know, there are a whole host of different other whats which I still want to cover, and if I did them all in one video, we'd be here for half an hour or more of you listening to me ramble. And the whole point of this series is trying to be shorter and sharper and to the point. So I hope you've enjoyed the content that we're creating here for this particular video. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions, even if you are a seasoned stacker that perhaps knows it all already. I'd love to know what you think of my thoughts and opinions, and share yours as well, because I know a lot of other new stackers and seasoned as well get a lot of value from reading people's opinions down in the comment sections. Otherwise, thumbs up, that helps everything that we do here on YouTube. That's it from me. We'll see you on the next one. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.